So there's something great about walking on fresh carpeting when your toes are just kind of, feeling the comfy, fuzzy comfort, especially on a cold day. Your feet just feel like, this is great.
No question. And then conversely, there's something horrifying about walking on a motel carpeting that's been there since 1960, and there's some kind of a horrible, tacky feeling to, so there's different aspects to carpeting, different reasons to get it, and different ways to choose. So I think that was a great idea to a subject for us to talk about.
So how many rooms do you, because you have some hard floor and also some carpeting,
yeah,
right?
I have carpeting completely upstairs, wall-to-wall carpeting.
All the bedrooms.
Yeah, all the bedrooms. And I'll tell you, it's been great. It's been a low-pile carpet. It's been easy to clean and care for. However, kids, spills, pets, after about 3 or 4 years, that lifespan kind of goes away. We purposefully bought something a little less expensive because we knew it was going to have to be replaced, and it has to be replaced. So now's the time. So, I actually spilled a gallon of paint in my son Dusty's room when I was painting it, just dumped it over. There's like purple paint all over the car. I mean, it's bad. We got to lose it. So, we're going to go back and do it again because I like that cozy feeling. And my house only has hardwood up to a certain point upstairs because there was an addition put on at one point. So I don't want to pay for hardwood upstairs either. We don't have allergies in our family. It seems like a good bet.
So I guess there's a lot to consider, right?
Lot
you mentioned
to consider.
allergies. I mean, lifestyle, kids,
question.
pets.
Right.
Do you want that soft feeling? I mean, I also love, artificial wood floors. That's what we have in our family room, and it's great.
It is great.
I mean, wood floors are great, but they aren't always perfect because pets can scratch them.
No question. I agree
but
with you
carpeting.
100%. Yeah.
So I guess think about the carpet pad, right? Think about the
Okay,
weight.
let me tell you something. So I've demoed maybe 500 houses in my life as a contractor, and when I pull carpet up, you cannot believe the amount of dirt that's underneath the pad. Like somehow dirt works its way down under the carpet
like
padding.
Sand almost.
It's
right?
like sand, right? And
how does it get in there?
And to that point, when you replace carpeting, I can't tell you how many times I've caught installers.
They keep the sand
not
there.
vacuuming it up.
That's so gross.
So you're just literally laying it over the sand again. It's just unbelievable. So if you do have
hair,
a propensity for allergies, this is
oh.
literally the number one place where you're going to get those allergens coming from the carpeting.
It's under
And then if you don't have a HEPA filter on your vacuum, you're literally just blowing the stuff right back into the air again. Yeah. So there's some considerations. So first of all, watch your installer. Make sure that they're cleaning up after themselves. And by that, I mean cleaning up the debris and the sand and the dirt that's under the existing carpet.
And also, wouldn't you say a more durable carpet pad would also make for a longer lasting carpet?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know when you've been out there in people's homes that have that beautiful, cushy feeling
Very
to
thick.
the carpet. They pop for the little more expensive padding.
It comes from the padding.
Yeah, so if you get the less expensive padding, it's going to break down quicker, and then it's going to feel like it's compressed, and you might as well spend a little more if you can. I'd rather you spend a little more on the padding
versus the carpeting.
Versus the carpeting, exactly.
And so it's going to make the carpet more durable, and I'm betting it probably helps to keep it clean.
There's no question.
Longer,
There's no
right?
And also, there's this other element to carpeting. Carpeting is created with high VOC adhesives, glues, all sorts of things that you're not aware of, and that turns the interior air quality of your home literally into sort of a toxic soup, right? So that smell that you smell when you first walk into a newly carpeted room,
right?
That's off-gassing. So if you're somebody that has a suppressed immune system, or you're sensitive to that kind of a thing, if you're someone that really, when you walk into an elevator and the ladies, hey, you smell like bug spray, that person that can sense that perfume on everybody where it's just too much, you may want to consider low VOC, more natural or organic products that don't off-gas all the time.
That are not only natural for the mat itself, right? I mean, for the padding itself, but also the carpet, both.
Exactly.
Get all natural.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, in terms of the other kind of fibers, you can go with nylon, polyester, wool.
Right.
Wool probably is a premier carpet fiber.
Yeah, and wool may, however, not be the right choice if you're living near a water source or the ocean, because it mildews a lot faster. It doesn't sort of wick away that aspect to carpeting. I think it might be a different choice for you.
Mm-hmm. So you like nylon or polyester maybe, huh?
Possibly, yeah. And then it's all about, the pile. Do you want to have a thicker, more luxurious feel, which will clearly hold more dirt and, stuff that kind of floats around in the house, dander, pet hair, all that stuff. Or do you want to have a lower pile, something more like a traditional Berber where it's closer to
like
the ground.
Like a loop almost, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, because some of these different carpets, I mean, there's a pattern, right, in the carpet itself.
That's right.
Has a really gorgeous visual look.
Right.
But then the idea is, does it have enough of that kind of cut and loop, as they say in the trade, to make sure that it's going to give you that maximum durability? So especially for the high traffic areas, you want that kind of a Berber, loop carpet, right?
Sure. And if you have, to your point, if you have pets, man, you're going to be in a world of hurt if you've got a new puppy in the house. Oh my goodness, there's a new puppy, and then they just pee all over the new carpet. It'll make you crazy.
So the good news is that if you do have your heart set on carpet, you want to take the following things into consideration if you are a pet owner, right?
Right. There's no question.
So because accidents are going to happen, you're going to train. You're going to train them, but still, it's going to happen. Especially like I have an old dog, and so we put diapers on her. But still, every now and then there's an accident. So we're lucky we have mostly hardwood floors, but you just have to really be careful.
Sure.
So the material, the carpeting is usually made from wool, right? Again, talks about moisture. So wool probably wouldn't be great, for pets, right?
Probably not. It's
because
not going to clean as easily, and it's, and what you're going to sacrifice feel for functionality.
Yeah, the nylon. I think the nylon fibers is going to be the most, not only the most durable, but the stain resistant and affordable and suitable if you have kids and pets.
Exactly. And then don't forget, you and I were talking about this off air. There's that product that we love called Floor, which are literally panels of carpeting.
Little tiles, yeah.
They're tiles, and they have little adhesive on the bottom that's sort of attached to each other. And
you can replace tile by tile.
Exactly. So to Cindy's point.
So you spill that paint in Dusty's room,
and
you go,
3 tiles, replace them.
Because what? I'm hanging in the Zen garden. I'm not losing my Zen. I'm not stressed because I just moved that. All I do is take that one tile away.
That's right. Now you may have a problem if you have stairs with that product because you can't run it up. You can't run it upstairs continuously. You're going to have to create some sort of a border with a wood trim or something like that. So it may not work for you because of that. So also the application, are you doing carpet runners? Are you going up and down stairs? Are you doing a whole room, or can you kind of piece it out and do different products, different color tones and patterns with that kind of a thing like the Floor product? So yeah, lots to consider when picking a carpeting in your home.
And when you go online, there's a bunch of different carpet shopping guides that you can see. So do make sure that you do a little bit of research, and it kind of does like an A and B. You can go back and forth, pros and cons of all these different types of materials, right?
Right, exactly.
And so it'll suit your needs, and you make sure you get the most value for your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's really important because, it's like anything. They have not only the style, but then there's also, comparing the warranties. You know what I mean? In terms of like some of the carpets, they come with like a food and beverage warranty or a pet warranty or a soil warranty.
And I hate to tell you, but when you get a whole new house full of brand new carpeting, you're probably going to need to upgrade your vacuum cleaner. And it's kind of a, point A, you get point B. So you got to get a vacuum with a HEPA filter. You got to get something that has great suction. You got to have something that's going to contain and easily get pet hair up if you have dogs and cats. So, it's more of an undertaking than just replacing the carpet. If you've got an old junky vacuum that's just blowing stuff out when you vacuum. Terrible. Right?
Yeah.
And also, I'm going back to filters again.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
It's all right.
You got to replace them.
Do it.
Especially when you have dander and pet hair and that stuff's floating in the environment. Good filters will actually take some of the burden of that stuff floating and going back into your carpeting and suck it up into the intake of the HVAC system and filter it. That's the whole point of it.
And I could smell that just yesterday as the furnace was on. I'm like, it smells like dust. I can smell it coming out. I don't like it. We're changing the filter today. Anyway, how would you like to have a week's worth of salads all ready to go in a mason jar?
Are you kidding me?
A series of mason jars in your refrigerator.
I might give a limb for something like that.
Don't
Please
just,
let
no.
me have that.
No, keep your limbs.
All right.
But I mean, this is, I've got the mason jar bug, and I hope that you will stay tuned.
You
because
kind of gone mason jar crazy a little bit.
I'm mason jar nuts.
You're a nut.
And I mean,
But who doesn't love healthy salad? Hello.
And you can, but there's a beauty of seeing the layers. It's almost like, a dessert of some kind. You can see the red bell peppers, and then the peas, and then the bacon.
I'm
and
feeling
the
healthier
It's
already.
Yummy. Anyway, we got some great tips for you. Eric Strummer.
Did I mention fiber?
Fiber.
See?
I'm Cindy Dole. Home Wizards. The fun continues in just a moment.